we actually have our first phone caller of the night, Carl from Port St. Joe. He has a question about COVID-19. So Carl, you can go ahead with that question now.
Yes, I have a relative that was placed in a room in a nursing home with a person that had COVID-19, and he contracted and died. Is there any liability or responsibility for that occurring?
Carl, who passed away? Your relative or the individual who had it?
My relative.
Okay, your relative passed away. Did they pass away from COVID?
Yes, they did.
Okay. You know, like I said earlier, there's discussions about, immunity right now and who actually is going to, receive immunity, if there's any at all. I would err on the side of caution and say, hey, look, you're not going to have any immunity. So looking at your set of facts, and if they were in a facility that somebody intentionally put them around someone else, I think that you have, it's worth a discussion. It's worth an argument to make that had it not been for your negligence of putting my relative in that room with that other individual who was sick and needed attention and should have been quarantined, I think there's a strong argument to be made, hey, my relative would not have died had it not been for your negligence and your lack of ability to quarantine them correctly. One of the biggest things that they tell you when you're traveling back and forth or whether you contract this illness is go quarantine yourself. You need to be away from other people. We've all had close loved ones, we've had family members, we've had friends, we know people who's had it, and you need to quarantine yourself before you actually come back into the public, into the workforce, or to society, basically. So your situation where they actually have a COVID patient who actually has it in the room, if I understood you correctly, and then your relatives in there with them, I think that's a great argument that you can make that, not for, all but for your, failure to keep my relative safe, they contracted the COVID and have passed away from it. So we'd love to talk more with you about the facts of that, though.